Yeah, right. Yeah.
And people are like, that's not safe, by the way. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Want to go grab coffee? What's going on, everyone? This is Coffee Run. You have questions. Hopefully we can get some answers. Question number one is, do you plan every work day? So yes and no. Most of my days are pretty booked out from people scheduling meetings, or maybe I want to meet with someone to talk about something. So the majority of my day is planned out. My assistant every night, she sends me an email saying, here's the schedule for today, and here's all the people that you're meeting with in this meeting. She'll share a little bit about the meeting, what we're trying to accomplish. So I would say more or less my day is planned out, but I'm not super rigid about it. I do have a to-do list that I want to knock out. So I have a pretty good routine, and most of my day is taken up. Question number two, tips on improving creativity. This is a good one. I feel like creativity is something that comes rather natural to me, but here's some things that I do and some things that I know other people do. So one, this really creative guy, James Altucher, he says that creativity is a muscle and you need to work that muscle in order to stay on top of your game. So what he does is he has these lists and he'll challenge himself to just come up with creative ideas. And he'll try to come up with 10 creative new ideas every day, and you write them down on this little notepad. So as you're going throughout your day, you kind of keep track of those ideas. So I want to encourage you to try that. I think that it's cool. I've done it before. But for me, having a thought in my mind and just trying to think through different scenarios, trying to think from a first principles perspective, recommend checking it out. It's basically stepping back and saying taking a step back, forgetting everything, all the assumptions that we have. How would we make this decision? What's the ideal version of this decision? And just really looking at things from different angles is so important. Getting different people's perspectives is so important. And I don't know the quotes, but there's quotes out there about art is just stealing from multiple people and kind of putting it all in one. And that's kind of how I look at life. But for me, having downtime, working out, having that thought or that problem in the back of my mind is really big for me coming away with a solution. One of my biggest ideas, I was literally trying to think of this idea for the last couple of years, or sometimes I get stuck on something and I don't have a solution, and it just takes a couple of days and then that idea finally pops in your head. All right, grab a drink real quick. Question number three, when more than one idea seems promising, how do I choose one? It's a really good question, and I think it's important to really keep front of mind the saying, chase two rabbits, catch none, because I think it's a real thing, and I think focus is super important. And so I think that the goal is to fail fast. And I think that you should run experiments on these different ideas and see how good those ideas really are, because in reality, probably not as good as you think, or they might be a lot more difficult than you think. There's probably just gonna be a lot that you didn't expect. And so by jumping in, testing them out, failing quickly, will help you to understand how good that idea is and which one is really worth pursuing. But I think that you should pick one idea and really pursue that. Go all in on that, but you gotta test the different ideas to make sure you're going after the right one. Question number four, when is it appropriate to crowdfund? That's a really good idea. I honestly don't have that much experience. I know some people that are huge on helping people in the Kickstarter community. You should crowdfund if you have a unique idea and you have no way of getting capital, because there's a lot of downsides with crowdfunding. I mean, you can have people steal your ideas, which I think happens very often. People with more resources end up going and building out that idea far before you can. I think that the majority of people could honestly kick their business off for much cheaper, much easier than you think. You probably don't need to go and do a crowdfunding campaign, but I don't know, that's just my perspective. All right, question number five. I'm stuck in debt, depression, and anxiety after 2 attempts at entrepreneurship. How do I get out? Great question. Number one, I think you should go and get a job, because in that job, you're gonna learn a lot. Get a job where you can actually learn. Go get in that job, learn a lot, build up your money so that on nights and weekends, you can start testing out your next idea. But the fact that you're in debt, after 2 failed attempts means that I don't think that you're probably doing it right. I think that you should start your startups as experiments and scale those experiments as you're having success. And a lot of times that doesn't look like you being in debt. So get a job, like take care of yourself for a little bit. You don't have to be going 100 miles per hour at any given time. I think you should go as hard as possible. Sometimes you really do need to take care of yourself. So take a step back, take care of yourself a little bit, make sure that you have a job, make sure you have money coming in, and run your next experiment. And make sure that you're looking at your next startup as an experiment, not the next thing that is going to take your life to the next level. Like, experiment a little bit, you're gonna fail, and as you start seeing success, invest more and more in it. That's the only way that you're gonna really be able to fail along the way, because you're gonna have a lot of failures, that's given, but you don't want to, end up depressed and so anxious that you can't move forward. Run some experiments. Experiments work, experiments don't work, and I think that's the best way to get started with your business. That's been Coffee Run. I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you want to follow my journey to making it, go hit the subscribe button. We're always posting new content as I work to build this business. And if you want to see the behind the scenes, the day-to-day, come check me out on my personal Instagram. But I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later.